Connecting up Apple CarPlay is quite literally the first thing I do in virtually any car, whether it be wired or wireless, depends on the journey. However, I think I might have found something that can add Apple CarPlay to any car out there, even if it doesn't have a screen. Now, I often feature brand new cars on my YouTube channel, the latest models. However, with the price of some cars these days, they might not be the right option or the right choice for some people. So how can you add Apple CarPlay to an already good car and give it the tech of 2024? Enter this, which can upgrade any car to give it the latest functionality. Now, this is called the Ottocast screen. Now, they actually make several of these, but this is the 10-inch version. I figured this one is the best to test, seeing as most phones these days are around 5 to 6 inches anyway, so having a larger screen for sat-nav and the whole suite of Apple CarPlay apps is something that I'd personally prefer. In the box, there's the screen itself with a built-in adjustable adhesive mount for mounting onto the dashboard. It also features a front-facing camera too, an aux cable, more on that later, a 12-volt socket for power, and a rear camera for reversing. I also have an additional thing which I was sent, which is the windscreen mount. I'll explain more about that and why in a moment. Now, to clarify, although this video isn't sponsored, Ottocast offered to send this to me to check it out and review, and also very kindly offered a discount for you all to use yourself if you wanted to upgrade in your own car. Discount code is on the screen and in the description down below if you wanted to get one. So first up, guys, what you'll need to do is actually have a think about how you're going to install this screen in your car. Basically, you need to have a think about the mounting position where you want to install it. Of course, I opted to do this centrally just in the middle here. For number 2, you need to have a think about how you're going to power it, and I'll cover all these in a second. And number 3, finally, how the audio is going to come out of here to your car speakers if you want it to. More on that in a second as well. So first up, in terms of mounting. Now, if you remember from the unboxing video I just did a few moments ago, you'll see that it actually comes on its own stand with an adhesive mount. Now, I did try this in another car, and this I think was partly my fault. The car that I had tried this in had lots of kind of silicone cleaning stuff on the dashboard. So, you know, like when you kind of run your hands across some car cleaning products and stuff, and it's like really slippery. I think that was on the actual dashboard, so when I tried to stick it on, it didn't stick very well. So of course, have a think about that, and you know, if you're going to go for the kind of mounting thing. Now for this is why I opted to go for the windscreen mount. So there's actually 2 contact points. It's actually on the top of the windscreen here on the actual windscreen mount itself, and then it's also literally just resting on the actual dashboard there as well. So it's got kind of 2 contact points just to kind of keep it as rigid as possible. So either kind of adhesion using the stand, or optionally go for this windscreen mount, which can go here, and then you can rest it on something there as well. And I will add, you can actually make the arm longer and shorter just in case you've got like a really long dashboard as well, which is quite cool. But yeah, that's kind of what I've opted for this car. I know I've got a screen here, but I'm going to keep this screen off just because I'm fortunate enough to have CarPlay on my car, so I don't actually need to use the screen in this car. But number 2, next up, is power. So power is actually provided by the USB-C to 12-volt socket cable. Now I've kind of just very temporarily just tucked this in at the very back here. You can just about see the cable over here, and then it kind of goes over there and just down the side. Now of course, if you're doing a more permanent solution, then you might want to have a look at the kind of nooks and crannies and the shape of your dashboard to see how you're going to install it. But yes, there's that one cable that needs to go there. There may be another cable for the audio which we step through, which we'll cover in a second, but for a temporary thing, I've just kind of tucked it in here, and then it's going in here for the kind of 12-volt. Handily though, that 12-volt socket does have a USB port on the top as well, so in case you've got like, I don't know, a dash cam maybe, you can also power that as well. Just saves you having to lose a port for the sake of having a screen. So they thought about that, that's quite cool. Finally is step number 3, which is audio. Now there is actually a built-in speaker into this screen. Now of course it is just a really small speaker, so it's not going to match like your car's speaker system. So you're probably going to want to use your car's speaker system. So next up is how you're going to get the sound to come out of here to your speakers. And there are 2 options. The first one is using the auxiliary cable. So yes, there is an auxiliary cable that comes with the box, and you can plug it in. So that will be an additional cable that goes down and then plug into the car's multimedia system somewhere. It could be in the glove box, it could be here. It may not have it, which I'll come on to in a second. But yes, if it does have auxiliary, I'd recommend to use that one just because the quality is going to be that much better. Now, if it doesn't have auxiliary, this is where you can make use of a pretty clever thing, which I actually made use of years and years ago when I was, you know, fumbling around trying to make audio work in a car. but yes, it can actually transmit the audio via FM frequency. Now this is what I've done for this example, just because my car has Bluetooth, it has CarPlay, but doesn't have an auxiliary. But to showcase this screen in here, the only option for me to do it in here is to do it via FM frequency, which I'll show you guys how to do in a minute. Ideally try and use AUX where you can, but yeah, just in case it doesn't, then you can output the audio via FM, which is quite cool. Now guys, connecting this up to the screen is actually really easy. On your phone, all you do is just tap on Settings, then go to General, then go to CarPlay, and then just kind of leave it on this screen here. And then on here, what you want to do is tap on Apple CarPlay, and then you'll be presented with this screen, which looks a little bit like this. From here, then you'll be looking for a thing that says Auto Screen and then some numbers, usually unique to the screen that you bought. Tap on this one, and then on the screen here, you should see a couple of prompts that come up, and of course on your phone as well. Just tap pair, and then just allow everything that all comes through. And then, if done successfully, you'll have Apple CarPlay appear on the screen, just like this. Now, of course, this is the finished product here with Apple CarPlay. Now, I've got loads of Apple CarPlay topics on my channel, so if you do buy this and want to know more about Apple CarPlay, do click on the pop-up banner up above. It will take you to a playlist with all the Apple CarPlay topics I've ever done, from troubleshooting to tips and tricks to top Siri commands and all sorts. And, of course, this video now as well. So yeah, this is what CarPlay looks like when it's up and running. So a very brief introduction. Of course, you'll have phone, music, maps, messages, your now playing, podcast, audiobooks, calendar, and settings. So CarPlay is quite cool. I said I've got separate videos on that, and yes, there is an extra screen with the apps that you have installed as well. However, more about this actual screen here. And you'll notice there is an additional menu bar over on the left-hand side. And number one, there's the home button. You've got brightness. The one underneath that is how the audio is transmitted, which I'm doing via FM at the moment. And then of course the camera. Now I will add, as you did see on the unboxing, there is a camera on the back. I'm opting not to run through it in this video just because when you've got the windscreen mount just like that, it will block the camera view. So obviously you must have a think about how and where you're going to install it. If you are going to make use of that camera that's built into it, then of course you might need to opt for a different kind of solution to mount it to your dashboard. But for this video, I'm not going to run through that bit because I'm just really excited that you can actually add Apple CarPlay to any car out there, which is just so cool. Back to the screen, if we do tap the home button just up here, this is the home screen for how you connect stuff. Now, of course, it is compatible with Android Auto as well, which is pretty cool. Of course, I do have a lot of iPhone products and Apple products in my life, so Apple CarPlay is the one for me. Now there is a thing called DVR as well, which allows you to play back content. So yes, you could put I presume like memory sticks in and things like that and play content that way. So yes, it can literally be used as like a dedicated media player. I'm just really excited for the Apple CarPlay bit. Now, as I mentioned with the audio output, this is this bit here, just on the right hand side. So on here is how you can control how the audio is transmitted. So you can either use the built-in speaker or you can do it via FM or AUX. Now, I said AUX will probably be the best one to use, but for me, I'm just doing FM at the moment. The way FM briefly works is that you choose a frequency on here, so it goes from something like 87 all the way up to 103 or 105 megahertz or something like that. So choose a frequency on there that isn't on like a radio station. I chose 87.9 because it was just kind of static. And then on your car's multimedia system, tune the radio to the same frequency, and then you're basically transmitting it to the car wirelessly then, which is quite cool. Just bear in mind you'll get better audio quality if you do it via AUX, I found anyway. But yeah, literally then just on the car, just go to your kind of radio tuning section, wherever it might be, tune to the same frequency, and then you can do it. Now, if you swipe across the screen, there is an additional 2 menu items called Bluetooth Music and Wi-Fi Video. That's not something that Apple can do, from what I've seen anyway, so I'd imagine that's more Android based, and I said I'm not familiar with Android stuff, so if you guys wanted me to cover that as well, let me know, then I can make a separate video on how those things work. I'll have to get out the Android that's in my drawer at home. But yeah, for the most part, if I had this screen, certainly in my first, second or third cars that did not have any kind of screen whatsoever, I had to retrofit a whole radio system into the car. This screen would have been so good, because I remember I literally had like a TomTom just kind of stuck on the windscreen, and yeah, you had to pay for speed cameras, pay for map updates and that sort of thing. This would have been so cool because you've got Apple Maps built in, Google Maps built in, Waze and all sorts. So yeah, this is something that I wish I had years ago. So there we go guys, that is the Ottocast screen. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Of course, if you have any questions or wanted me to cover that dash cam feature in it, let me know and I can just squeeze another video in another week and I'll make it for you guys. There's no problem. If I forget enough people who want me to cover it, I'll happily put a memory card in there and take it out on the road and show you what it can do. But yes guys, thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and of course, I will see you all very soon.